Hi all, and welcome back for another blade review. Today we're going to be taking a look at the Columbia River Knife and Tool Ignitor model. This model is the plain-edged version, and the model number is 6850. If you're interested in a combination edge, that model would be the 6855. These knives are also available with a black blade coating and a blacked out handle. I believe they're about $10 extra. The knife retails on the CRKT website for $59.99, and that being said, you can find them on the internet, on eBay, for the $35 to $40 range. Let's go over some quick specs. The overall length open is 7.5 inches. The closed length is 4.25 inches. The weight is advertised at 3.5 ounces, although we always know how manufacturers like to not always tell the whole truth when it comes to weight. And this one's really no exception. I'd say it's closer to 3.7, especially being as though I reprofiled the blade and actually removed some material. The blade length is 3.38 inches long, so it's just under 3.5 inches. It's 0.11 inches thick. It's a decent size, a decent thickness. It doesn't feel too flimsy, and it doesn't feel too chunky. Blade material is 8CR14 MOV, and by all accounts it's very, very similar to 8CR13 MOV. It's just slightly more corrosion resistant, I believe. I've found for practical use the blade steel performs almost identical to 8CR13 MOV. It's relatively easy to put a very fine edge on it, and the edge retention is about the same as 8CR13 MOV. It's not fantastic, but it's not that bad. Rockwell rating, as they say, is between 58 and 59. I think that might be a little bit overstated, but I could be wrong. It's a hollow grind. The grind goes about 2/3 of the way up. There's a very slight swedge as well on the drop point. The drop point is relatively centered down the center line of the knife, which is nice for making holes and whatnot if you're into bushcrafting. It's a liner lock design. This particular model is slightly late lockup, but it's acceptable for a $40 value folder. The blade is not as centered as it could be. I haven't really tried fiddling with it because it really doesn't bother me all that much on a $40 knife. The handle scales are G10. They are black and olive drab, and it's really probably what drew me to the knife most was the handle scales. They're very, very good looking. It's like a layered look, and it's reversed for the bolster area. This is an assisted opening knife. You can see right there. That's your torsion bar. So that bar provides resistance on the blade itself, real close to the pivot there. So that when you open the knife, it presses down and kicks the blade open. It kicks in where most assisted knives open, right in that kind of an area, maybe 30 to 40 degrees. It's a very smart, quick opening system. I like it quite a bit. It opens with authority. Lockup wise, there's a little bit of side-to-side play. Not a lot, but a little bit. It's noticeable. There's 0 up and down. Back to the assisted opening. It's called the outburst, the patented outburst system. It's also got their patented safety, which I'm not a big fan of safeties on knives whatsoever. I think they're kind of a waste of resources and completely unneeded. I have disabled the safety on this one. If you're interested in disabling safety, maybe PM me and I'll let you know how I did it. Seemed to work quite well. But generally, the way that this safety works, so I don't know if you can see, there's a hole right in the edge of the blade there. See it? Now what happens is on this liner lock, there's a nub that sticks up, so that when the knife closes, remember this hole? It swings around and the nub on the liner goes up into the hole on the blade, and that locks the blade where it is, so that when you press the safety, it pushes the liner away from the blade and the nub out of the hole and allows you to deploy the knife. That being said, I didn't like having to actually press down on the thumb stud and then out. It just kind of really annoyed me. I'd kind of get into my classic way of opening just about every other thumb stud opening knife, and being as though I do an EDC rotation, it just didn't work for me, so I just disabled it, and now I'm relatively happy with it. The only problem that I find now is that was the retention device on the knife for when the blade is closed. So now you can shake out the blade. It's relatively easy, especially with that assist. Technically, that makes this a prohibited device in Canada, but being as though I don't really carry it at all anymore, it just kind of sits in my collection now. I'm not too worried about it. It's semi-closed construction. The liners are not skeletonized. But you can't really expect much for a value folder. The clip itself is not movable whatsoever. So you are stuck with right side tip down carry. Overall, you know what? Although it does have a few flaws in my opinion, it's a very classic styled knife. Fits the hand very nicely. Fits my hand very nicely. I take size large to extra large gloves. There's no jimping on the top or anything like that. It's just a very well laid out, I think, EDC style knife. It'd probably be a larger EDC for most. Most people prefer a slightly smaller knife for everyday carry. But you know what? It's thin enough that you could certainly carry it. If you're willing to put up with things like the right side tip down carry, if you're okay with that, and you can deal with the safety or disable the safety. You know, this is quite a nice knife. I'd certainly recommend it for the price, and it certainly deserves a place in most collections. For $40, you really can't go wrong. And I think that's really all about all that I have to say about the Ignitor. If you have any questions, by all means, let me know in the comments. Go ahead and rate and subscribe if you like what you see. And thanks for watching. Bye.